if you smell.
We're taking a trip down Nostalgia Lane, driving through Jabroni Drive, and stopping off at the Smackdown Hotel. No one coins a catchphrase quite like The Rock. Truly an unparalleled force in the annals of wrestling promos, The Rock was a master wordsmith who weaved comedy, intimidation, and magnetism to create nuclear verbal assaults that few other superstars have ever been able to match. Here are The Rock's greatest WWE catchphrases in history. Number 10, who in the blue hell are you? There's nothing quite like seeing someone get fired up and agitated, only for the person they're mad at to completely no-sell it. The Rock is forever the undisputed champion of no-selling not just what his opponent was saying, but their entire character, their entire being as a whole. During the invasion angle, The Rock was calling out his fellow WWF superstars. Booker T, entering from WCW, then came out and talked a whole world of trash to the People's Champion. The Rock looked part annoyed, part confused, and all around unimpressed. After Booker was finished with his tirade, The Rock only had one question. Who in the blue hell are you?
Who in the blue hell are you?
In just one line, he verbally annihilated Booker T to the point that Booker never felt like he was at the top for the rest of their program together. This one teaches us that truly, sometimes less is more. Number 9, the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising people's champ. Unless you're a gangster rapper, it's difficult to sound like a badass when you're rhyming. For most wrestlers, it would sound cheesy and unnatural. However, The Rock could string verses together like an absolute pro, and somehow always made it sound cool. He was always the jabroni beating, pie eating,
The trailblazing, eyebrow raising, jabroni beating. Wow!
Well, you get the point, but The Rock would adapt his sign-off lines depending on the situation. On a related note, a lot of people think that The Rock coined the term jabroni,
ABC, oh, it doesn't matter how you spell jabroni!
a word that has since been admitted to the dictionary to describe a foolish person. However, jabroni was an insider term used by wrestlers long before The Rock's era. The Rock just brought the term to the masses like only he can. Number 8, laying the smackdown. You know a catchphrase is over when WWE names one of their weekly shows after it. The term Smackdown has become so iconic that, like jabroni, it's since been entered into the dictionary as an official word, and it quite simply means to kick someone's ass. Whether he was about to lay the smackdown or layeth the smacketh down, you knew that business was about to pick up whenever The Rock busted this line out.
Rock's laying a verbal smackdown on whomever listens. Not a plagiarist.
Obviously.
It was a quick and easy way for The Rock to ramp up excitement for an upcoming match. According to The Rock himself, he coined the term in 1997 and eventually used it in a promo in 1999.
Come on to the premiere show, Smackdown.
However, the origins actually date back a little further, and it even appeared in a Dr. Dre song in 1992. But even so, it doesn't matter who invented it.
We are live on The Rock Show, live on Smackdown. Laying the smackdown on all your candy assets.
It only matters who popularized it, and that was the great one. Number 7, turn that sumbitch sideways. Boots to asses, candy asses. Turning some bitches sideways and shoving them straight up asses. It seems The Rock had a real thing for backsides, and the number of objects he threatened to use as suppositories is nothing short of impressive. The Undertaker's head, Mankind's mask, Kane's voice box, a can of monkey piss. Over the years, The Rock claimed he was going to shine all these objects up real nice, turn them sideways, and stick them straight up various people's rectums. Aside from his size 14 boot, we never actually saw The Rock put anything up another superstar's ass, but it didn't stop us from popping whenever he made the claim. We hate to dig too deeply into something that was usually a throwaway line in The Rock's promos.
Turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass!
Eat your vitamin, say your prayers, and stick it straight up all your candy asses!
Take that little mannequin head, turn that sumbitch sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass!
But contextualizing this phrase added a personal element to the proceedings. It wasn't just, I'm gonna kick your ass on SmackDown. It was, I'm gonna take this very specific thing and use it against you. A simple technique, but it usually added a little more depth to an upcoming match or feud. Number 6, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. It takes a lot of balls to call yourself the most electrifying man in any industry, but doing it in the wrestling world is basically asking the fans to turn on you. But as we all know, regular rules don't apply to The Rock, and when he tells us he's the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, we believe him.
The most electrifying man in sports and entertainment.
The most electrifying man in all of entertainment!
But the reason we believe is not only because The Rock delivers the line with such authenticity, but it's genuinely true. Of all the WWE legends that have come and gone, The Rock is arguably at the very top of the pile. In terms of star power, only Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan can compare, but The Rock's infrequent appearances make him much more coveted than his two high-status peers. And on brief occasions that he appears in the WWE, no one can deny he sends shockwaves through every arena. Number 5, millions and millions. We've seen some absolutely awful nicknames for fans of certain superstars over the years, as if it wasn't bad enough that fans get referred to as the WWE Universe. We've also seen Hulkamaniacs, Edgeheads, Misfits, Canaanites, the Yes Nation, and fans of Attitude Era Mid-Carter Test were once known as Testicles. But The Rock didn't need to brand his audience with a forced name. He simply referred to them as the people, of which there were millions and millions.
And millions of The Rock's fans. Right now, as The Rock speaks, there are literally millions.
Of all The Rock's catchphrases, this little number got the most audience participation because it was just a few simple words that the audience could see coming a mile off. The Rock set it up, and the people knocked it out of the park. Number 4, know your role and shut your mouth. Another classic that got the fans singing along. Anyone who even had a brief feud with The Rock was told to know their role and shut their mouth at least once. As if having a weekly TV show named after one of your catchphrases wasn't enough, Shut Your Mouth got so over that WWE ended up naming their 2003 Smackdown video game after it too. Not only did The Rock use this phrase to verbally put his opponents in their place,
As The Rock can get that Olympic goof to know his role and shut his mouth.
Know your role and shut your mouth!
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
but this might be the most relevant Rock catchphrase of all time. It's pretty hard for the common man to relate to The Rock, but we know a few people who need to know their roles and shut their mouths. That's what makes this one such a joy to hear, because when The Rock says it, we all wish we were in his shoes. Number 3, it doesn't matter! The secret to comedy is timing, and no one had timing quite like The Rock. He could organically slot this one into any situation, and while we could all see this catchphrase coming a mile away, it never failed to pop the crowd regardless. Whenever The Rock asked someone a question, whether it was another wrestler, an interviewer, or anyone else on WWE TV, we all knew an inevitable, "It doesn't matter what your name is."
What is your name?
I told you.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Well, actually, when I was a little kid, it was a
It
nickname.
doesn't matter how you came up with the name, Coach. It doesn't matter.
Was about to follow, and we welcomed it every single time. The Rock got pretty creative with this one too. Just look at the time when he was the special guest referee for a match between Triple H and the British Bulldog. A disinterested Rock sat at the announcer's desk for most of the match. Then, when the Bulldog had victory in his sights, The Rock got in the ring and counted 1, 2. It doesn't matter if The Rock counts to 3.
Wait.
1, 2.
There's 2 now.
It doesn't matter if the Rock counts to 3.
So simple, but so effective. Number 2. Finally, The Rock has come back to whichever city he was in. It's easy to make the crowd roar, but it's difficult to make them listen. Fortunately, The Rock had the rare ability to capture the crowd's attention from the moment he stepped through the curtain. One of the many reasons was his introductory line, "Finally, The Rock has come back to," followed by whichever city he was in at the time.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Kansas City.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Montreal!
Mick Foley is usually the name synonymous with cheap pops, but The Rock is a close second. At its core, this catchphrase is a super simple one and can be transposed to pretty much any environment, any city, any town, and that's why it works so well. It might be a cheap pop, but The Rock wraps this one up in gold and delivers it with the necessary charisma to get the crowd amped up. And of course, number 1, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Walk up to anyone over the age of 30 and say, "If you smell," chances are they're gonna finish off this catchphrase for you. This is one of the few Rock sayings that has transcended wrestling and become part of pop culture. This catchphrase has stuck with The Rock throughout his entire career, from his heel days in the late 90s right up until present day. Back when The Rock first started out, he used to deliver this line in a monotonous style.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
If you smell
Is cooking.
But as his confidence and his skill set grew, so did his intensity and his grandiosity. As time went on, he began to incorporate more energy and flair into his delivery, gradually building up to the bombastic style that he's known for today. Does this saying even make sense? Not really, but it hasn't stopped it from becoming one of the most recognized punctuation marks in wrestling history. That's why this catchphrase takes the number 1 spot on this list. That concludes our list of The Rock's greatest catchphrases in WWE history. What's your favorite Rock catchphrase, or your favorite moment when The Rock used it for maximum impact? Let us know in the comments below.